This is a video that accompanies my pattern on Ravelry called the Noughts and Hearts Cowl. This is based on a previous pattern where I've just gone over kind of the focal point here of the little knots and hearts. So I'm not going to go over that in this video because there's a whole nother video that covers that. So if you'd like to watch that, I'll put the link in the description. In this case, I just want to point out some of the things that are going on with this border. This is just a very simple double crochet border that's worked over some chains that go along the edge here. So there's nothing probably too groundbreaking about that, but I just wanted to point out a couple things that I did not go over in the other video. So one thing that is different about this project is the cowl is joined in a circle, so it's a big loop, whereas our trim was only one flat piece. So to make it a loop, I'm going to show you how to join this end to the other to make a loop. So this is just the sample I used in the other piece. I'm just going to unravel that until I get to the point at which we join, which should be, hopefully I get that in the right place. Okay, so we've finished the bump, and now after that third treble we're ready to join to the other end. So make sure you don't twist anything, and we're bringing that knot from the other end close to where we're working now, and that is our first join. So we find the point where we join. We're just going into kind of what looks like the edge of that knot. I think I'll just go in there and just do a slip stitch. So let's join that heart to that knot. Let's do the rest of the heart with another treble, and you should know this by now, the 3 double crochets, treble, let's close the heart off with that slip stitch between. And now we've got to join, it's a bit of gymnastics here, got to join that that knot to this heart. Okay, so work 2 more single crochet, and again they're going to find the edge of the heart. Normally that would be that sort of, we had the 3 trebles and then the 4th kind of go in between there. That's where our slip stitch will go. And now just 2 more single crochets to finish off that knot with the slip stitch into the beginning. So that's made pretty much a seamless join for our mini cowl here. And now I'd like to start the border, and we can just start where we are. There's no need to break the thread. We can just continue on with a chain and a single crochet in the same stitch. 2 chains, and remember these chains, you will be working actually into the chains, so don't make those too tight. Okay, and I suppose the last thing about this project that might not be clear in the written pattern is a back post slip stitch and where it actually goes. Okay, so I think I said to skip 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches, but in reality you're going to be going around that last treble before the double crochet. Okay, so that's helping you locate the stitch, or another way to look at it, you've got after the slip stitch here, you've got 2 trebles and you're going into the 3rd. Now to make that back post slip stitch, we're going to go from behind, between those 2 stitches, and go over the stitch and back out behind. Grab the yarn, pull it all the way through as you would for a slip stitch, and that's put that slip stitch behind that treble. And I've done that because it helps the heart sort of pop against the border. Okay, continue with another chain 3, and you're going to think of this as a mirror image. You're going to go into the equivalent treble on the other side. So I'm going to go past that first double crochet, around there, and that's the other slip stitch behind. So it's hard to explain that in a written pattern, so I hope that's clear here in this video. Continue with another chain 2, single crochet into the top of the next knot. So the top just means, you know, the highest point. 2 more chains, and so on. So that gives the kind of the foundation for the double crochet border. Just go all the way around, and then I'll meet you there at the beginning. So in the round with a slip stitch into that first single crochet at the beginning there, and that's the foundation worked. Now let's start the double crochet round. Start with 3 chains, which counts as a double crochet. Now for the double crochets, we're basically just going to go into every stitch, so there's no real mystery there, but I just like to recommend that you actually go into the top 2 loops of the chain stitches. So we're not going in the spaces, we're actually going into the stitch. So that means just find the top there, and that just kind of keeps everything organized. And it can be a little bit tricky sometimes. I go in one at a time through the loops, but that's it. Just work your double crochet in every stitch all the way around, and then you'll slip stitch into that first stitch at the beginning. So that's the first edge finished, and you can see how doing those back post slip stitches really make the hearts sort of pop out across the top of the border. But you can also see how that one stitch can kind of get shoved back if you want to play around with that a little bit to make it look better, and then block it. That will improve the appearance. So for the other side, it's just, you know, the same thing. Just join at the top of one of your knots and go around the exact same way. So I hope that's helpful, and just remember that adding a border on really increases the opportunities to make other things. So follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I'll be posting some more ideas for how to use these knots and hearts with the border very soon. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.